What's up, everyone? It has been a while since we have sat together in front of my childhood bookshelf, but we're back. And previously, when I've sat here with y'all, I have taken you through my collection of journals that I never ever use, and there's a lot of them. But there are actually journals that I do use for various reasons. Not quite as many, but there are some. And so, I thought this would be a great moment to show you this collection of journals as well. So, get comfy and get ready some delightful book sounds as we look at these together. Starting things out with this journal here. Has a nice textured cover. I'm pretty sure this is a famous painting, but alas, I am not cultured enough to know what painting it is. So sorry. But I do remember I got this, or I'm pretty sure I got this at Borders when it still existed. I spent a lot of time looking at all of the journals and stationery that they had there, sometimes more than I actually looked at the books. This is a journal that I don't really use as a typical journal. I use it sort of more as almost like my homemade book of poems that I like. And I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. But, oh man, I can already hear the spine creaking without even opening it. Listen to that. Go ahead and open it up. Oh, the creaks aren't nearly as good. Oh, there's some. I thought that this would be a much louder journal upon opening it, but oh well. But we open it up. This other page with the same painting printed on the inside. Then I've got some handwriting here. Give a better example of what I mean by I've made this a collection of poems. Be this right here. So some of these I've handwritten in here, and some of them I've actually cut out of books. I really, really love poetry. I like writing it, but I love reading it. I would hope that I like reading it if I also like writing it. It's the only way I'm gonna hopefully get good at it is if I read it as well. But anyway, this is sort of where I started collecting poems that I love that I would either find somewhere, just happen upon a poem like online or something like that, or wherever, or if I bought a book of poems and like there were only 2 poems in the book that I liked, I would sometimes cut out those poems and then just glue them in here. It just kind of depends. I'm not really supportive of defacing books in that manner, but I'm not destroying the books. I think of it that way, It's like I'm still preserving the contents of the book, if just in a different manner than the original book format. So I think of it that way, kind of. But yeah, just all kinds of different poems. I can read you this one, actually. I'll pick a couple of the short ones that I can read to you here. So here we have A Coat by William Butler Yeats. I made my song a coat covered with embroideries out of old mythologies from heel to throat, but the fools caught it, wore it in the world's eyes, as though they'd wrought it. Song, let them take it, for there's more enterprise in walking naked. I'm not gonna get into talking about the meanings of all the poems. I feel like that could be a whole video of itself, but I will say too, when it comes to poetry, I'm someone who really likes, sort of interpreting it and figuring out different meanings, especially on poems where there can be multiple meanings. But I'm also someone who doesn't necessarily care about the ultimate meaning of a poem. I really just like wordplay and things that sound pretty, just the use of certain words in certain ways. It's almost like creating a painting with words. So there are some poems in here that it's like, it really, gets to me on an emotional, meaningful level or whatever. But some too that just sound nice. Find another one for you. I won't read all of them, but just to show you some of the poems in here and the poets. Flirtation by Rita Dove. The Stolen Branch by Pablo Neruda. Also, I haven't read a lot of these in a really long time, so I don't even necessarily remember everything that's in here, or remember the vast majority of it, I'd say. Oh, of course, we've got Nothing Gold Can Stay by Robert Frost. Lovely poem, but I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie, part of the reason it's in here is because my nostalgia for The Outsiders. I mean, I probably wouldn't know that poem if it wasn't for The Outsiders. Zombie Hat by Harriet Mullen. So Will Go No More a Roving by Lord Byron. Wishes for Sons by Lucille Clifton. I really love poems that are not just beautiful but funny. I think there's a lot of poets who have just awesome sense of humors. So I have a lot of poems that, make me chuckle a bit. There's one in here I do remember I have that was funny, and I want to find it and read it to you real fast. I'll find it in here somewhere, somehow. Oh, here we go. So I've mentioned before, I love Dorothy Parker. And this is a poem by Dorothy Parker, okay? So Resume by Dorothy Parker. Razors pain you, rivers are damp, acids stain you, and drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, nooses give, gas smells awful, you might as well live. Dorothy Parker is so good. One of my absolute favorite authors ever. Alright, I won't subject you to any more poetry because I know not everyone's into it. Unfortunately. But I hope you found the poems that I did choose to read to you entertaining. I'm going to give you some nice page sounds. The next journal. This one. So the last journal is a typical journal that I use in a not so typical journal way, I guess. This is not a journal that I kind of converted into a journal for myself. This is actually a calendar book or planner. That's the right word. And we got this nice plastic covering. I remember I got this from Barnes & Noble. And of course, me being a Disney fan, closeted Disney adult, but not really closeted, I guess. We have scenes from all kinds of Disney films. It says here, I'll take the plastic off so we don't have any reflections from the lights. That's better. Right in here. It says Disney Film Classics. We have films like Bambi, Dumbo, Alice in Wonderland, my personal favorite, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp over there, and I believe there was one more, oh, down here, The Jungle Book. So, those Disney classics. I'll keep my mouth shut about the latest Disney film that's come out. But I think most people can agree that these classic Disney films are very, very lovely and entertaining. And so basically each of these little tabs in here, each of these little tabs has a different film represented. So on days, we have Bambi. And it includes a nice little quote from the film too. This one says, "That's not a bird, that's a butterfly." And so this is actually the section that I used most. Instead of using it as a planner to plan my days in advance, I used it as sort of like one of those journals where you write down just a sentence each day. I really should start doing that again because it's easy, it's quick, and you can still kind of keep track of things that happen, especially things that are fun and you want to remember. I don't want to just like flash everything to y'all, everything I've written down, because I'm not completely sure everything that I've written in here, because it was a long time ago. I think I wrote this in high school, but I can read to you all some from it. Here we have January 14th. Also, keep in mind again, I wrote this in high school, so it could be kind of cringe. Like, I feel like I'm being very vulnerable with you guys reading stuff that I wrote in high school. Jeez. But January 14th, a Thursday. Detention was quite delightful. Oh, I'm going to change names too. Or abbreviate names. Detention was quite delightful. Miss E told us jokes and stories and said we didn't deserve our detentions. I quite like her now. I remember that detention. I remember one of the jokes. It was like sort of like a comic thing she showed us, and it was like Kermit the Frog going to the doctor and getting an x-ray instead of seeing, a frog skeleton inside him. It was like a hand. It was something like that. It was funny, but I remember that from that detention. Let's find another one to read. All right. I have some names here. I'm just going to do their initials. B, S, and G. BSG and I went to see Cats tonight. We had front row seats, and the creepy pelvic thrusting cat made me dance with him and flirted with me on stage. It was fun and scary. I remember that very distinctly too. I had a friend in high school whose dad, from his work, he got free tickets to the Broadway touring shows that would come through. And he happened to have a bunch of extra tickets for Cats that he got. And wouldn't you know, they were in the front row. And if you haven't seen the live show of Cats, at least when I saw it, I assume this happens every show, during Rum Tum Tugger's song, he comes down and pulls up someone in the audience and makes them dance with him. I just happened to be the person that night. It was really interesting. He basically reached down. My first thought was oh my gosh, he's reaching down towards my crotch, but he grabbed my purse. He grabbed my purse and threw it to the side to my friend and grabbed me and pulled me up and started swinging me around and dancing with me. And that was my experience seeing the Broadway show Cats. Fun times. There's some good stuff in here. I'll show you some of the other tabs in here, some of the other sections. Here we have the notes section. This Peter Pan. And a very simple quote, "Off to Neverland." So much. Here for important dates, we have Alice in Wonderland. And the quote is, "A nice cup of tea indeed. Well, I'm sorry, but I just haven't the time." I like down here, you can see, it's one of the little signs in Wonderland that says that way. Book. This was always my favorite scene from the Jungle Book with the elephants. One of those scenes that as a kid I just had to rewatch over and over anytime I watched the movie. And the quote here is, "Hop, 2, 3, 4. As the elephants go marching. Oh, gotta be careful there. I have actual addresses in there. there's a little ruler that this came with. And a little pen. Ooh, sticky notes. I can use those now. I haven't looked in this in a long time. I can get some use out of those and some nice stickers. Very sweet. Yeah, I think that's inspired me to start keeping another journal where I just write a sentence a day. Those were fun to look through. Thank you for looking at them with me. Here we have another Disney themed journal. Sort of a sketch type artwork of Alice from Alice in Wonderland. And all of the Wonderland characters scattered around her. Down here it says Alice. And this is just a regular journal that I kept. A nice little pocket right here. I don't know if I'm going to read anything from this one, because there's a lot in here, and there aren't really any short entries, and I also have no idea what I wrote about, and I don't want to, I can risk like one sentence segments of embarrassment for myself, of stuff from when I was a teenager, but not full pages worth of embarrassing myself. Not all at once, at least. But I'll give you some nice page sounds. I don't know how this band got so blown out. But, yeah, at least just the front is very cute on this. And I say that I love Peter Pan, but clearly I also very much love Alice in Wonderland. Because as we go on to the fourth journal, you'll see it is also Alice in Wonderland. I think pretty much everyone likes Alice in Wonderland, don't they? Maybe not everyone, but I know it's definitely risen in popularity over the years. I feel like when I was a teenager, I had such trouble finding any sort of Alice in Wonderland merch. Now it's everywhere. And this one is very cute. It says, curious, curious, curious. If we open it up, some nice spine cracks. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a good one. Could have been better. And really lacking on the spine cracks. This video. How unfortunate. But we have this lovely, bright, vibrant artwork. Little Miss Curiosity next to a little bottle that says drink me. We have some teacups and a teapot here. Are those, I assume that's a rocking horsefly? Is that what they're actually called? I don't know. I remember that as bread and butterfly. I don't know if that's something else. Bread and butterfly sounds a lot more accurate than a rocking horsefly. I don't know what else that one would be called. Full of little fantastical creatures in Wonderland. And of course we have the white rabbit silhouette right here, and Alice as well. So pretty. And another journal that I don't know if there's anything I feel quite comfortable reading aloud. Sorry to disappoint you. So, I didn't completely fill this journal out like my last one, so I can't show you the pages in here. Pretty simple, pretty plain. Pretty, they're nice light pink color. We've got this border going around the edge. And in this corner we have some more teacups. In this corner we have the Little Miss Curiosity text again. And if you look to the back, this is more of what we've already seen, but it's still pretty. Little Miss Curiosity again, and the Drink Me bottle. Alright, on to journal 5. And it's the second to last journal. These last two are not typical journals, but I'm sure if you're around my age, you probably have seen them even if you're not around my age. But this came out when I was in high school. I don't think it's all that unique to see this anymore. I feel like these got really popular, and the person who made this made a bunch of others that were quite similar, and maybe even some sequels like Wreck Another Journal or something like that. This is called Wreck This Journal. And as you can see, just based on, well, cover that up because that has my, my address, but not fragile. It's basically filled with directions of different ways to wreck the journal. Different very fun ways. Nice ways to just be creative too, I think. It was a lot of fun filling this out. I never completed it, but I think I got pretty far with this. And so I thought it would be fun to take you through some of the pages and some of the different ways that I wrecked this journal. Inside, shall we? I don't know if you can see all the colors in here. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Even just on the first page. All of this stuff here. Just a bunch of doodles and everything. Oh, it's appropriate. This reindeer up here. Appropriate for the holidays coming up. I like that. That's so funny. I highlighted the creator of this journal, her name, right here. I highlighted it purple and I wrote, I hate purple. I don't hate purple anymore. I love purple now. But yeah, growing up I really did not like that color. And right here, Christmas is almost here. I must have gotten this around the same time of year that I'm making this video. But I really liked all of the pages that were directions to doodle and stuff like that. All these lightning bolts. Another one. I doodled all over the instructions with these arrows and hearts. I did these hearts, like this was like such a fun, just, what's the right word? Design's not the right word, but this is just something that I doodled all the time in class and just like made these different shaped hearts and sort of made them like, you know, frame each other in really fun ways. Very satisfying to me. Great way to pass the time in class, you know, when I was daydreaming about other things besides actually learning what I was being taught. Oh, look at that. One of the very first pages, crack the spine. I don't think I'm going to get anything out of it, but no, there's nothing there. It is completely blown out, as a journal like this, as its spine should be. Those are some nice sounds. There was like one of these pages, the direction was to like, yeah, pour, spill, drip, spit, fling your coffee here. And let me tell you, this getting these pages wet and then them drying is making for some excellent tingly ASMR sounds, in my opinion at least. Oh gosh, that's a weird one. Chew on this page. And I did chew on it some. There was some really weird instructions in here. I didn't do this one. Tongue painting. Eat some colorful candy. Lick this page. I did not do that. This is cute. So the direction is write one word over and over, and the word I chose was awesome. And just wrote it in all kinds of different ways. I really liked this sort of format for doodling, you know, just making things sort of weird and warped, but like all fitting together. Yeah, the word awesome everywhere. I really like up here this like big awesome and then like all the little awesomes written on the lines of the letters. I think that's fun. This one, it's like awesome and it keeps getting tinier and tinier. Oh, so this started something that I don't do anymore, but I did it for a while. This also like just started some like kind of fun scrapbooking creative things, I guess, for lack of a better word. But I think I've covered it up, but the direction was something like, you know, like stick your fruit stickers here, a page for your fruit stickers or something like that. And so I did that, and I started, like, there are some other scrapbooking type journals that I have kept where I did that as well. And I just thought it was kind of fun. I remember, I don't know if they still do this, but I remember for a while, Bananas, the stickers, they would have really cute little quotes on them, like brain fuel, first tastes better, things like that. Most of these, oh, there's a mango sticker. Most of these are definitely for apples, but I eat a lot of apples. But yeah, some other stickers there too. And some over here too. I don't think I was supposed to spread them over to this page as well, but made the executive decision to do so because I was having so much fun collecting all my fruit stickers. Ooh, I like this one too. I can't see all of the directions, but it's like cover these pages with office supplies. I like this a whole lot. I think this is so I still think it's really cool. But as you can see here, I used a lot of Post-its to just create like different patterns and stuff. But yeah, different type of Post-its and sticky notes and whatnot. And then I used whiteout to write I heart colors and books and big, fancy, wonderful words. Sort of goes back to, you know, our first journal, me mentioning how much I love just poems and the way people can use words to create pretty things. Yeah. I'd say I do very much still feel that way about all of those things. The same way I felt as a teenager. So maybe I am still a bit cringe. I'm just not embarrassed about it anymore. Not as much, at least. Ooh, I like this too. So this page. And yeah, I just grabbed a bunch of like, you know, little sewing kits and stuff for mending clothes. You know, just grabbed some string from like some that my mom had or something. And just started sewing. I wanted to, you know, I couldn't really think of like a design. I don't know if I could make like actual art by sewing on here, but I wanted to do something pretty, so I was like, oh, I've got all these colors, I'll just do a rainbow. And I think it looks very, very nice. I kind of want to actually finish this. I think that could be fun. And I also sewed around the text and illustration. Outlined that and did some up here too. Yeah, I like this a lot. I've always wanted to learn to do needlepoint type art. I guess this is like the closest I'm gonna get. But yeah, that's a really, really good page. This is another thing that I started doing is collecting stamps from mail that I received. And most of it is just going to be like stupid boring stuff, like just the American flag or whatever. But sometimes there's some good stamps, like I have right here, Dumbo, a fun Disney stamp. And then I like this too. It says they're tuft puffins. So sometimes it'll be some cute, fun stamps. Page of good thoughts. Alright, I'll read to you all some of my good thoughts. And again, hopefully they won't be too cringy. But again, I also think a lot of these are probably still the same as what I would consider good thoughts today. So we'll see. Christmas music. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Cupcakes. Watching the Travel Channel. Having a snow day. Waking up early before sunrise. MCR concerts. Any kind of concerts. Driving at night with blasting music. Flying at night and looking at lights way down on Earth. The smell of cigarette smoke at a concert in the winter. The feeling of washing any trace of smoke off of me in a shower. Ooh, having someone in a play or a band look straight at you while they're performing. I agree with that one still. I think that might be about all that I want to go through. through on this one. This space is dedicated to internal monologue. I'll pass on that. But yeah, I'm curious if you're watching this, if you had one of these too. I'm surprised I didn't see more people in my high school like get these. But I'm sure a lot of people did have them. Again, I think they got really popular. And my next journal is actually kind of similar. It's not by the same person, but definitely in the same vein in terms of like being creative and stuff, but not focused on destroying the journal. This one is called The Happy Book. I think I filled this out around the same time. I didn't get as far in this one as the other one. But maybe I filled this out like a little bit after that other one. But this one is filled with things that are at least supposed to make you, in theory, supposed to make you, oh, whoops, what happened? Oh, some of the things I glued in there fell out. Oops. But yeah, this one should be all about happiness. The last book had a lot of stuff that makes me happy, but let's see what we will find in here. I already read out a bunch of things that make me happy, so I'm not going to read any more of that stuff to you right now. Let's see. Oh, there's I put a bunch of quotes here. What's your favorite thing? Cats, reading, sleeping, and Shakespeare. Find a bunch of happy quotes about it and write them here. All right, let's see. I'll read you some quotes. This is Ray Orbison. I close my eyes, then I drift away into the magic night, I softly say. A silent prayer like dreamers do, then I fall asleep to dream my dreams of you. So sweet. Okay, so I wrote up here dreaming, so it was all about I love dreaming. All these are about dreams. I was always a dreamer. In childhood, especially, people thought I was a little strange. I feel that. That's by Charlie Pride, I think. Yeah. And, ooh, this is good. I don't know what the direction was here, but I filled it with some Sailor Moon pictures. I like that a lot. I should fill it up some more. I'm filling all this empty space. These look great. I really like this page. I should definitely finish this. I remember watching Sailor Moon in the mornings before school when I was in grade school. Oh, such lovely days. Okay. Oh, this is good. This is another thing that I started doing a lot. It's just sort of, making pages dedicated to stickers. Everything. As a 90s kid, I don't know if they still do these a lot, but I know it was big in the 90s. I had a bunch of sticker books and everything. So, it gives me that nostalgia and whatever. But, yeah, it's fun to just have a place to throw stickers. I feel like, especially these days, I feel like I at least get a lot of just like random stickers. Like I'll order something online and I'll get a stupid sticker. And even if it's like something that I don't, it's not cute or whatever, it's like kind of fun to not just throw it away, but to like just slap it somewhere, and create some sort of weird collage of things that I have gathered, whether intentionally or not, over the years. So yeah, I like that a lot. And this one, of course, is very cute with all kinds of Disney and Rugrats and whatnot in there. Be a curator of happy. Curate your own your own art collection. I actually think some of these I just like cut out of magazines, like, or like catalogs. Like some of these over here are like artsy furniture catalogs that my mom got or something. I was like, I just need something moody to fill in here, you know. I like that there. I have no idea what it is, but that one's interesting. Yeah, I like the octopus. So, I don't know what, oh, there's another thing that fell out. I don't know what the directions were for here, but these are clearly from like a Teen Vogue or something like that I got as a teenager. Yeah, it definitely looks like it, or like maybe Cosmopolitan or something, I don't know. Lost in translation, like different word, like Rod Wang Willie, we know all the slang from the States, but we wanted to find out what nicknames there are for man bits around the globe. We asked Cosmo editor, yeah, Cosmopolitan. So I must have been like a freshman in college or something whenever I filled this out. But yeah, freshman in college, because there we have Kit Harington as Jon Snow in the first season of Game of Thrones, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when that Game of Thrones started. Kit Harington, here's proof that some men really are too sexy for their shirts. But back to this, it's different slang terms for man bits in other countries. I really like that Argentina is missile. Goodness. And then shit my guy says, just, I feel like that's like something, that sounds like a subreddit name. They're just funny quotes, I guess, from chicks' boyfriends. Oh, this one's cute. Filled with all kinds of Disney goodness, of course. Everything from Little Mermaid to Fantasmic to Wonderful Kingdom Hearts. It's actually really cute. I like how I framed this. Framed the castle with all these characters. I like this one a lot as well. I need to start, if only I had time. I don't have time anymore. But I really like making collage type art like this. It's really fun to look back at as well. Another sticker page. When you're flipping through magazines, what images make you happy? Beautiful flowers, and especially a great pair of red cowboy boots. Tear them out and paste them here. So I definitely stuck to a specific theme, but for anyone who remembers the Delia's catalogs, I always really loved their graphic t-shirt sections, and that's clearly what I was going for here. I cut out like a bunch of graphic t-shirts that kind of really appealed to me and pasted them. I really like that Jaws t-shirt. That one's... Oh, and the Christmas Vacation one says, fun old-fashioned Griswold family Christmas. That one's really great too. And that's about the end. There are, of course, other pages that I filled out, but I just wanted to show you all the more interesting ones. And I hope you had a good time. I had a good time sharing this with you. I know that it's a little different than the other journal sharing videos I've made, but I hope you still liked it. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely, lovely night. And I'll see you soon.